Waistcoat challenge accepted. They're really fun. You should give them a try. I am super excited to be here. I love the AIGA community. I am a member back in Portland, so you are my people. But I am especially excited to be here because I want to talk to you about a discovery that I think is going to revolutionize creative professional practice. This discovery is so fundamental, so revolutionary, I almost wore a black turtleneck today. This discovery is hard-earned. I have spent hours talking to designers and creators about their work, helping them negotiate difficult situations and advocating for their rights. I have tested this theory relentlessly, and I keep coming up with the same solution. Now, this is knowledge that you can apply immediately to your work, and I really hope that you do, because my research suggests that designers who apply this within 1 week of learning it see an increase in their job satisfaction, in their financial compensation, and they get more satisfaction from their collaborative relationships. So what is this life-altering, mind-bending, disrupting discovery that I have to share with you? You're great. And not only that, you're great at business. And I think that you're great at business because you're creative. Not in spite of it, but because of it. It has always bothered me when folks say that creative people are bad at business. And for the record, it bothers me when you say it too, your folks. Because nobody is born being good at business. Business is a set of skills that we all have to learn. And so the idea that creative people are somehow worse at business is silly. We're all bad at business. The other thing that I notice is that to be good at business, you really just need to cultivate 3 basic skills. And those skills are creative thinking, a curiosity in understanding others, and experimentation. Business books and classes put this in very different jargon. They like macho jargon. They like disrupting things. But that's basically what we're talking about. Creative thinking, a curiosity in understanding others, and experimentation. Does that sound like anybody that you might know? Thank you. Own it. The thing is that you're talented. You have creative skills. You have these skills to be good at business, and that's why I know you can be great at business. You might need to learn how to apply those skills differently, but that's okay. I'm here. I know that you can do this, and so over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can apply your creative skills, your creative talents, to something that probably intimidates a lot of you, negotiation. I'm going to show you how you can use these skills, whether it's a salary negotiation, a negotiation with your clients, a negotiation over a contract. If you are negotiating something, these things apply. Now, you all have loads of experience with the most fundamental skill needed for negotiation, and that is curiosity. It is very difficult to negotiate if you are not curious. The reason why curiosity is important is because it helps us understand where the other person is coming from, what's motivating them, what they're interested in. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they are negotiating is that they are focusing on their positions, what it is that they want. And while that's somewhat understandable, it's not helpful. It limits your thinking. It limits you to only thinking about your position, not why you're involved in the negotiation. But if you can remain curious in the negotiation, even when you're intimidated, even when you're scared, you will be able to find better solutions to the negotiation. And not only will they be better solutions, the solutions will likely be more satisfying for both parties, and it will take less time to get there, which I think sounds pretty darn good. So this can be hard to understand sort of in the abstract, so I'd like to share an example with you. And the example is, let's say my wife and I decide that we need another pet in the house for some reason. And so we decide that we're each going to go off and we're going to think about what kind of pet that we want. We've done this, we've done our research, and now we're coming back together and we're going to negotiate over what pet we get. Now, I have done my research. I have thought about this in depth, and I have figured out that the only pet that will satisfy me is a French Bulldog. I'm right. But the unfortunate thing about my rightness is that before I even start talking, I have limited myself. And I have limited the chances of my success in this negotiation. Because what I've done is I have made the negotiation a yes or no answer. Either I get a French Bulldog, or I don't get a French Bulldog, which we can all agree is sad. But my wife is a cartoonist, and she is very talented. Queen of the Sea is coming out on June 25. Everybody go and buy it. And she knows that she can use her curiosity to help me break up this self-imposed stalemate that I have created in our negotiation. And so she does something very simple. She asks me why. Why do I want a French Bulldog? And because she's asked me a question, and I care about the answer, I start sharing with her the qualities that I considered when I was thinking about what kind of dog I wanted, what kind of pet I wanted. And so I start giving her this information and sharing with her what was important to me in considering what kind of pet I wanted. So now, instead of a yes or a no answer, we have a ton of information. And we can use this information to identify a solution that is going to be satisfying for both of us. Now, one of the things that Dylan can do with this information is she can help point out for me places where my interests, why I want what I want, don't line up with my position. I don't know if any of you have ever met a French Bulldog, but they are not loyal. They will go home with anyone. But the other thing that she can do with all of this valuable information is that she can start making suggestions of other pets that might satisfy my interests, but that I hadn't considered. Because I'm only one person, right? I am limited to my own creativity. And so when I make negotiation a problem-solving puzzle, when I make it a problem-solving exercise, I get the benefit of her creativity as well. And we're able to come up with a lot of different potential solutions. And these aren't random solutions, right? These are all solutions that potentially satisfy my interests because they were made with awareness of my interests. In negotiation, why is always more important than what? Always. Even when you are negotiating over money. And I would say actually, especially when you are negotiating over money. Because when you're negotiating over money, you are essentially negotiating over a number. Nobody wants money because it's money. They want money because it allows them to do something. Or they think it says something about them. And that is why they want that amount of money. And it turns out, sometimes money is the answer to satisfying their interests, but many times those interests can be satisfied in other ways. So my recommendation to you is to use your curiosity when you are negotiating. Ask why. Ask why a lot. Be genuinely curious in why the other person is negotiating with you. And then use your creativity to come up with solutions that can satisfy the problem you're negotiating over. You will get better solutions, you will get more solutions, and you will spend less time negotiating. The other skill that I want to talk about today is the fact that you all are okay with constraints. You can actually work well with constraints. You understand that a constraint can actually be beneficial. It is part of undertaking a project, it is part of creating, and rather than merely limiting you, it can focus your attention, and it can help you discover solutions that you might not have been able to discover if you had had the whole wide world open to you. Now, you all are lucky in having this knowledge and having this experience, because not everybody does. I don't know if you realize this, but every couple of months there is a new article in a business magazine that announces the creative beauty and wonderment of constraints as if they have discovered a brand new planet. Guys, did you know? And the author of this article will wax philosophic about the importance of constraints and how they're going to help you in your journey, and how the Mars rover and Michelangelo's David would never have been created without constraints. And you, dear reader, better start falling in love with constraints if you ever want to do anything important with your life. But you all are lucky. You already know that constraints are okay. They're not the end of the world. You understand that a constraint is something that you factor into your solution. It is not something that you waste your energy fighting against. It is just a part of the whole. It is not the whole. Negotiation has a constraint that's pretty darn big and pretty darn intimidating, and that is no. Unfortunately, when people hear no in a negotiation, they think, that's it, I'm done, I don't have any choice in the matter, I can't go further, dead end. They get hurt, they feel personally rejected. No carries a lot of weight in a negotiation. But what I want you to do the next time that you hear no in a negotiation is I want you to think, yay, a constraint! My old friend! Because that's all no is. It's a constraint. It's information. You have to respect it. You have to honor it. But you can be curious about it. You can use it as an opportunity to better understand the person you're negotiating with, to better understand what their interests are. And so when you hear no in a negotiation, I want you to think, this is my opportunity to ask questions. Why doesn't this solution work for you? What is it about this particular solution that is getting in the way, that's not attractive to you? What would we have to change in order for you to be able to say yes? No is information. It's just a constraint. And you have the ability to use it, not fight against it. I know that you have the skills necessary to be a great negotiator, because I know that your creative skills are necessary for negotiating. You just have to learn how to apply these creative skills in a slightly different way. Because while you are very talented and lovely, you have to apply creative skills differently in a negotiation. And so you need to practice to figure out how those skills apply, where they're going to be most effective, how you can use them. And the easiest way, of course, of figuring out how your skills are going to apply is practicing. If you don't like practicing, think of it as iterating. But practicing allows you to see how those skills play out in a different environment. It's giving you more information. And with that information, you can develop a style that feels comfortable for you. Because you don't have to negotiate the way that I do, and I don't have to negotiate the way that you do. We just each have to use our skills productively, effectively. Now, one of the scary things about practicing is, spoilers, you're going to make mistakes. And some of those mistakes are going to be small and nobody is going to notice them. That's good. But some of them are going to be real big and they're going to wave their hands in the air. And you're going to want to hide. But you know what? It's okay. Mistakes are fine. Everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. I still make mistakes. Mistakes teach you things. They help you understand how something works. Because when you can identify where the mistake happened and how it came to being, you can better understand how things will work the next time. Mistakes, as you all know, teach you far more than perfection ever could. You do not have to be perfect, but you do have to start practicing. Please, I want you all to have the compensation, the salary, the fee, the calm, the clients that you want. And the way that you're going to be able to do that is through practicing negotiation and making mistakes. Instead of being worried about the mistakes, I want you to share what you learn. And I want you to share what you learn because our creative community is under this mistaken belief that because we can create, we can't protect ourselves. We can't advocate for ourselves. And that's bullshit. You can protect yourself. You can advocate for yourself. And I want to banish the belief that because you're creative, you can't negotiate. You absolutely can. And I know that sharing what you learn is scary because it requires you to be vulnerable, and it requires you to be honest in a way that might be uncomfortable. And so I will model good behavior, and I will share something with you about my creative practice that I find intimidating. I am really good at starting projects, and I'm really, really bad at finishing them. I'm that guy. I can start a project full of vim and vigor with the enthusiasm of 1,000 chipmunks. But somewhere along the way, I will get disappointed or I will get distracted and it falls off my plate. Something else is more important. There's another chipmunk that is dancing. And so this talk is actually, I stole it from myself because it is coming from an outline for a book that I have been working on off and on for the last couple of years. It's a book I really want to write. It's one that I think is important. I want you to feel good about yourselves when you're in business situations. I want you to see that you have the talents and skills that you need to be successful in business, in negotiation. But I keep trying to prioritize it, and I keep failing. So I decided to do something else vulnerable and scary. I've created a newsletter that's called Actually Great, and the whole point of the newsletter is trying to get me to finish this darn book. If you text GREAT to this number, you will sign up for it. And what you will do is you will give me the accountability I need. Every 2 weeks, starting on April 15th, I will write and send you a new chapter of this book. You don't have to read it, I hope you do, but you don't have to buy anything. I'm not gonna tell you like how you can take my next class thing stuff. I just want you to be at the other end of that email line so that I stay accountable. Now, if everything goes according to plan, with your help, I will be able to finish this book by my birthday, which would be a fantastic birthday present to me, but also one that I could give you. And I would like that very much. So, in conclusion, you're great. And you can be great at business, you can be great at negotiation. I know it. You're talented. You have the creative skills that business people spend copious amounts of time and money desperately trying to gain. And you can totally do this. You are capable, you are able, you can stand up for yourselves, you can protect yourselves, and you can all be absolute business rock stars. Thank you.